Hey guys, thanks for visiting my channel, and today I'm going to talk about my experience in studying for FAR. A lot of people say that FAR is the hardest section of the CPA exam, and mainly because of the material that you have to cover. But exactly how much material? Well, it really depends on who you ask. If you ask Becker, it's this much. But if you ask Roger, it's this much. When I got my Roger's book for FAR, I was kind of overwhelmed. Roger has 33 chapters for FAR. Some of the chapters have 5 video lectures, but most, I think, have like 10 to 15 videos, and that's a lot. So if you really love reading and watching lecture videos, then you will have a great time studying with Roger. But in my case, I only have 6 weeks between my Reg and FAR exam, so I definitely do not have time for that. So I decided to stick with Becker. There are 10 chapters for Becker, so it's not that overwhelming. The book is not that thick, plus you get to spend time with Peter Olinto. For those of you who are still deciding between Becker and Roger, let me know in the comment below and I might do a video comparing those two. So this is what my desk looks like when I study. I have my laptop, my numeric keypad, which is a lifesaver for computation. I have my calculator, my iPad, some sticky notes, my book stand, which is super handy. This book stand. And I also have a lot of colored pens. I bought these on Amazon, so if you guys want to check it out, I'll leave the info in the description below. So here's my calendar. Today is July 14th and I'm taking FAR 2 days from now. I'm not really sure if 6 weeks of study time is enough because I didn't really study full-time for 6 weeks. You know, if you see here, I took a vacation for a few days and then we lost our dog. There were days where I felt I was so far behind, but you just have to factor in unexpected events. A lot of things could happen, but you just have to get back up and keep going. Now, I strongly suggest that you guys have a calendar. It really helps you stay accountable. I write down the sections that I do for the day. Sometimes I do 4 to 5 sections like that, and sometimes I only do 1. And of course, it depends on the difficulty of the topic as well. But don't put too much pressure on yourself if you only feel like doing 1 or 2 sections. Sometimes, you know, it's part of the process and you will not feel 100% motivated every single day. So just hang in there. Also, someone from Instagram asked me about the best time to study. And my answer is morning, like early morning. See, I never study at night. So I've been getting up at 4:30 in the morning almost every day and study before I go to work. I make sure I have a solid 3-hour study time before I start my day. And then I do 2 to 3 hours in the afternoon. I'm really interested to know how many people are like me who prefer studying early morning. So if you're like me, let me know in the comment below. And now I'm going to show you my notes. They are very colorful compared to others. So what I normally do is I watch the lecture videos in 1.5 times speed, read the books, and then write my notes. I get messages on Instagram asking me if I could send them copies of my notes, and I personally think that making your own notes is very, very important. See, when I write my notes, I don't just rewrite what's in the book. I write them in my own words, so I strongly suggest that you guys do that. So here's some of my notes. I use charts, arrows, lines, and different colored pens. I love doing it because it keeps me from getting bored studying, you know, especially for pensions and derivatives. Taking notes is like my entertainment in the midst of those, you know, difficult topics. I also want to show you guys my Becker software. So if you can see here, I've only covered 37% of Becker's materials, and part of it is because I don't do the skills practice and I skip some of the lectures too, especially the ones that I'm already familiar with. So I don't really finish 100% of Becker's material, In fact, I'm going to show you my audit and reg sections. So here's my audit. I covered 43% of the materials, but I passed. And then for reg, I covered 40% of the material and I also passed. I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't worry if you don't have time to cover all of the materials. I would focus on the chapters that you're really struggling with and then just skim through the ones that you already understand. And that's why I created my checklist based on Becker's topics, so I know which chapters I really need to focus on. Now let me show you. So here's my spreadsheet. This is a list of all the topics, and this keeps me on track too. I also put in my scores when I do multiple choice questions so I can see my progress. The scores I have here are not updated because I use my iPad because it's easier that way, and then I just update this one in my computer after my exam. So if you're using Becker, you'll find this very helpful, or if you're using other review materials and you want to make sure that you're covering the important topics, then you can use this too. So if you want a copy of it, I'll send you one if you leave a comment below, and I hope it's not too much to ask if you can hit that subscribe button in return. But either way, I'm gonna send you a copy. I also want to talk about this form that I received from NASBA. I found out last week that we can request for an actual paper and pencil during the exam. They provide a laminated sheet of paper, but I'm not really in love with it. So if you guys want to send a request, just send an email to candidatecare@nasba.org. This approval is good for a year, so definitely check that out. And the last thing I want to talk about is the Becker final review. A lot of people are asking me if it's worth it. I really don't know how to answer that because it's just a summary of the book. So if you read the book from cover to cover, watched the lectures, and wrote your own notes, I just don't see why you need the final review book. Now, talking about the final review, I've been doing a lot of multiple choice questions and some simulations. I also made this notes on super important topics. These are the concepts that are constantly in the mock exam, so I assume they're heavily tested. So just like the uneven rents, when I was doing the mock exam on Becker, I got like 4 or 5 questions about uneven rents and how to accrue for it. So I just want to make sure that I know how to do those problems. So that's all I have for this video, and I really hope it helped you guys somehow. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And for those who are studying, hang in there. We are almost done. And always remember that success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Thanks for watching. God bless you guys.